Hey friends, welcome to the Cricut live Q&A. I'm going to get this shared to a couple of places really quick, and that way nobody misses out on all the fun. And then we are going to do some questions and answers. I'm super excited for this video. I've had so many questions from you guys, which is awesome, and I love it. And I just thought this would be a really, really fun way to be able to kind of chit chat with everybody and answer all the questions. And I have some questions that were submitted the last couple weeks through Instagram or through some of my posts on the groups. So definitely feel free to put your questions down in the comments section there. I am monitoring that. So if you have questions, just shout them out in the chat, and I will absolutely answer those questions for you. Just getting my chat pulled up here. Okay, we should have our chat pulled up. Hello, Blessed Mama. Hi, Thelma. Blessed Mama wants to know if I know of any great sales from Cricut that you recommend. So as far as Cricut machines, not right now, they don't have any sales, but I'm sure they will probably within the new year. They just did a bunch for Black Friday and then a bunch more for Christmas. So I don't think you're going to see any sales right now. So let me just get this shared really quick. And let me just pop that on. I know you guys are seeing me sharing this. Sorry about that. I have a shortcut thing on my computer, and if I type in a certain letter, it takes you guys to my screen, which is cool, but kind of annoying when you're just trying to share something. It shouldn't do that again. It just did it because I had to initially type that in. I'm going to try in the new year some different streaming services and options for these videos. So hopefully that will help with some of the weirdness that this system does. I've got a lot of goals in 2021, and that is one of them. So I got a couple more places to share this. Give me just 1 second, and we will be right with you. I do see I have some questions, so don't worry. I will be checking those. Do not fret. I won't forget you, I promise. I promise. So who here got a Cricut for Christmas? Who maybe got a new machine? Did you maybe get another machine? I know a lot of people got updated machines. Lots of people got the Joy or the Maker this Christmas. I saw a lot of Explore Airs. So I know you guys are getting all kinds of fun stuff. Hey, Julie. They have bundles on sale on the Cricut site. They do. However, I am not listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do not recommend purchasing anything that contains Cricut products. Because their vinyl isn't great. Their tools are not awful. But if you're going to get a Cricut product and a bundle, don't get one that has vinyl. Get the one that has the mats and the tools and things like that. So much better. It's a much better deal. You're getting much better products. The vinyl just isn't really good. If you're looking for good vinyl, it's linked below. 143 Vinyl, the best, hands down. Good quality products. So they are my top choice as far as, products are concerned. Good morning, Sherry. Yeah, right now there's really just not a lot of sales going on. Again, most places pretty much put their sales on for Black Friday and for Christmas. So you'll be waiting a little bit. I got the big heat all-in-one, but I can't get my Maker to cut anything but paper. What's the best vinyls, pressures, and settings? So for your Maker, depends on your brand. I use StarCraft HD and StarCraft SD, and those cut best on the vinyl setting, which works fantastic for 99.9% of vinyl. I recommend doing some test cuts. Just cut out a small little inch star and just test cut a bunch of different types of your vinyl and figure out what works best. But the vinyl setting is typically going to be your best bet. If you're still having problems and you're on that vinyl setting, contact Cricut because there have been a few machines that do have some issues as far as their pressure from the beginning. So it's kind of a pain. Thelma says that she just recently tried the foil vinyl that came with my bundle, and it's very hard to work with. It is very, very hard to work with. The Cricut foil vinyl is probably the hardest to work with product. I've tried it. I hate it. I will never use it again. Yes, Thelma, the StarCraft like weeds like butter. It's so nice, and it's so easy to use, and it's gorgeous. I love their stuff. It is super easy. Oracle also has a decent product. Trying to think who else's vinyl I have tried. Arteza, they have great vinyl as well. I have all of that stuff in my Amazon store too, if you guys are looking for like my favorite stuff. Everything I love is in my Amazon store. So you can pretty much find all of that stuff there. And I do have the ability, if you guys have questions about Design Space, I can show you how to do things in Design Space as well. Hi, Teresa. Teresa said she just got a Cricut iron-on, and I'm trying to do a shirt, but I'm now nervous with you not liking Cricut vinyl. Will it stay on? It will stay on. I don't like Cricut vinyl because it's thick and it's heavy, and it's just not easy to work with. You do need to make sure that you do follow the recommendations from Cricut for their heat and their time and their pressure settings for their specific vinyl. Like I said, it's not a bad product. It's just not a great product. It's not a product I would choose to purchase, and it's not one I would spend my money on. Hang on, I gotta grab my water 1 second because I know I'm gonna regret not having this. Hi, Roseanne. Good morning. Happy holidays. So, what other questions do you guys have? Do you have anything that you want to know how to do in Design Space? I can pull a question from Instagram while you guys think. I think it's Eileen. Says, happy holidays, and is there a way to organize your files in Cricut Design Space? I'm sorry, Eileen, there's not. That's one of the downfalls to Cricut Design Space. You can't really organize them. They don't have like a folder system. They don't have any kind of system that really makes sense. So at this time, they don't. However, if that's something you want, make sure to send feedback to Cricut because they do listen to the feedback of us. And they do make updates based on the things that their consumer does want. So I will give them that credit. Nice to see you too, Roseanne. No, this is actually my filming studio. So yeah, I moved in October to this room. So I have a new filming studio. So yes, technically a new room. Let's see. We have a couple questions from Instagram. Is Design Space free? Yes. Design Space is a free program, and you can even play with it before you get your Cricut. You don't have to have a Cricut to download it. You can start learning how to use it, how to play with all the different features before you even get your Cricut, which is really nice. It is a free program. It is a little bit limiting in some of the things it can do, but it's a great program to work with your Cricut. So that's a really, really nice one. Flo says that she is new to Cricut and she has a maker, and I've never made anything. Well, Flo, we're going to change that, girl. You're going to make something. I promise. Once you start really learning, you will be unstoppable. Coda Craft says the only way to organize is to make tags so you know what to search for. It sucks, but send feedback for sure. Yeah, you can do the tags. I typically don't bother because I can never remember what I tagged them as anyways. So I usually just scroll. It's just a little easier for me just to scroll. Another good question is, can the Cricut Joy do print then cut? The answer is no. The Cricut Joy cannot do print then cut. It does not have the sensors to read the cut lines that the Maker and the Explorers do have. Bless Mama, I'm getting to that, I promise. That's another Instagram question. So we'll go to that one. Somebody asked, is Cricut Access worth it? This is a yes and no question for me. I have Cricut Access, and if you like their designs, it's totally worth it. It's also worth it if you're gonna just do something real quick and really quickly just use one of their designs. It's really, really easy that way as well. However, also their designs are a little bit rudimentary. There's not a lot of really fancy designs, and you do pay additional for anything licensed. Disney, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Marvel, Hello Kitty, things like that are for an additional fee. The fee is, I believe, $9.99 unless you pay for the full year, and then it's $7.99. I do have a link down below, and like I said, it is a decent product, especially since you can cancel at any time. You don't have to keep the Access membership to continue to use Design Space, but any images that you used with your Access, you lose those images. They are no longer yours. There are great alternatives. I really like Creative Fabrica, and I like Design Bundles, both for additional SVGs. I think they have better quality, they have more options, and they have much more much more advanced designs. So that's super nice. And I do have a link also in the description for both of those, and you can get the memberships with Creative Fabrica for 30% off using my code. So let's see, we got some more questions here. What's the purpose of SVG versus JPG files for pics? So an SVG is a vector file and a JPG is not. The SVG has a better quality, it is less pixelated, and the JPG typically is a lower quality, more pixelated. SVGs are not always going to be layered, and JPGs are never going to be layered. Typically, if you look and you go to buy an SVG, you want to make sure that you're looking for the words layered and things like that to help you use your SVGs correctly in your Cricut Design Space. I do have tons of tutorials on using SVGs, how to create your own SVGs, and all that stuff, but SVGs are just a much higher quality image versus a JPG. I hope that answered that, because they're a little bit confusing, and it can be, you can get really good quality JPEGs, but you just, it's harder, and they still are a little bit pixelated. Alexa said she finally decided to make a knockout. I'm catching hell. For some reason, my slice doesn't activate on my PC. Is that a glitch in the system? No. Likely you are selecting more than 2 layers. When you slice, you can only select 2 items on your screen, and I can show you guys that. Let me show you over on Cricut Design Space here. Let me pull that up, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that super quick. It's really, really easy, and you just have to be able to use the slice and not grab too many things. So let me get you over to my screen, and hopefully that worked. I'm going to give this 1 second just to make sure it worked, and while I'm doing that, I'll type the text in for you guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just do, I can spell my own name. We'll just do a real quick knockout for you. So here is the name, and then I'm just going to use, I don't know, we'll just use my last name to do the knockout with. I'm going to change the color on the knockout really quick just to make it easier to see. Make it bright purple. And then all I'm going to do is duplicate this. And I'm going to put one to the side because we need that one. And then all I'm going to do is duplicate this a couple of times. And you just need to line them up on top of each other so they're offset just a little bit. And I think this may be where you're having the problem of not getting your slice. So what I'm going to do is select these, and I'm going to weld them. Now the weld is being a little bit slow. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this again, and I'm going to go ahead and offset it a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and weld, and I usually will do a couple, and then just once I've done it a couple times, it'll be thick the way I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and do, this isn't going to be a great one, you guys. I don't have this lined up real good, but that's okay. You just need to make sure you weld a bunch. Once you've done that, you can come up into your name, select the first name and the last name, and you'll see that now, because I've only selected 2 items in my design space, it's going to allow me to slice. My guess is that you are just slicing too many things, because I haven't had any problems with slice, and you'll see now that I've got the space. And again, this one wasn't good. I just did it so you guys could see. But you see now we have the slice. And you can get rid of these ones because you don't need them anymore. I will say it has been slicing kind of weird, but it still slices. You just can only have so many items selected at a time. So that's my best guess as to what's happening when you slice. It's just not, you've got just too many layers. So one of the ladies asked in the group, what does the dots at the top of your projects mean in Cricut Design Space? So I'm going to take you guys over to my projects really quick. So we'll go over to my projects, and I'll scroll down really quick. We'll just find something random. We'll use this one. You'll see that there's this little white dot up here, and you see that you can click on it, but nothing happens when you click on it. Those dots are actually for if you have additional photos in your project. So I do have one here that does have additional photos, and you'll see that I have 2 dots. So you can select 1 dot to see one photo and 1 dot to see the other photo. That's all those dots are there for. They're just to help you scroll through images for your projects. I hope that explained that one, because that was a question that I never even thought of, to be honest with you. I had not seen that one, and I thought that was a pretty good question because I feel like I never noticed it, and I don't know if others have either. So I'm just pulling up your comments again. My phone gets a little bit slow. Eileen says that she finds that the maker stinks at tiny intricate cuts. It doesn't seem to cut through well or tears. People with metal dies get perfect cuts, and when I try to recreate similar designs on Design Space, it doesn't cut. Hi, Lisa. So Eileen, here's the thing. Depending on how tiny your design is, it may be more of a issue as far as your material setting, your cut setting. So I cut something that was, I'll show you this one. This one's really, really tiny. We'll go ahead and replace what was originally there. So this was a really, really tiny image. You can see how small the little letters are. This was cut on HTV, but I did this one with the washi tape setting with the more pressure on. I do have a couple videos about how to cut small intricate details, but also keep in mind if your blade is dull, that can make intricate details really, really hard to cut, as well as things like if you're using paper, not all paper is created equally. Some paper is much more fibrous, meaning it has a lot more little stringy pieces in it than others. So that can also make it really difficult for your machine to get a good quality cut. And you have to remember, all these machines do have a limit as to how tiny they can cut. So they may not be able to cut quite as large, or quite as detailed, I should say, as you would hope, but they still can do pretty small details. So I would say play around with your settings, test it out, see what works. A lot of times you just really got to kind of play with it. And again, make sure that you do check your blade, because your blade could really honestly be the problem. I have a video coming in a couple weeks that's going to explain to you how to tell when it's time to change out your blade, how to change your blade, and I'm going to show you the difference in a new blade versus an old blade. I am probably going to butcher your name, and I'm so sorry. I want to say it's Jerice. Could be Gurice. It's beautiful, whatever it is. I love it. She wants to know, is there a difference in cutting matte and glossy? Not that I have found. Matte and glossy have both seem to cut both very, very similar. I'm going to go ahead and switch you guys back to the webcam here for a minute. But glossy and matte seem to cut very similar. I have not seen any issues cutting between either one of them at this time. So if you are having a little bit of cutting difference, I would try just upping the pressure on the different vinyl that maybe isn't cutting as well, because they should cut really, really similar. They never really seem to cut awkward for me, but testing is always a good thing. I always do test cuts. Tammy says that she's trying to print and cut a sticker with text, and even though I weld the text and choose print and cut after I print it, the maker starts cutting each letter. Tammy, that is because you don't have a shape behind your words. It's going to cut out anything that is a transparent background. So let me take you back over to Design Space so I can show you what I mean. So over here in Design Space, let me get rid of this. Let me just make a new one. I don't want to lose that project. And I'm going to just make some text. We'll just, again, use my name. And I'll change the font just so I can show you here. We'll just use a Magnolia Sky. And let me space the letters down. Not like that. If you guys don't know, you can use letter spacing up here. It's a super handy little tool. So we're going to go ahead and make this bigger so you guys can see it really, really well. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and change this over to print. And to make it easier for you guys to see what we have as far as the print then cut sections, I'm going to put my grid lines back on. So anywhere that you see grid lines in between things is where you're going to have it cut around. So it's going to cut out each individual little space. In order to prevent that, what you'll need to do is take a shape, and you can use any shape that you want, and you need to click with your right mouse button and send your shape to the back, and then make your shape whatever size you want. I'm going to go ahead and unlock it using the lower left-hand corner, and I'm just going to kind of make it random. Again, I'm not really doing this, to be pretty. And I'm going to go ahead and change this color to white. There is no such thing as white ink, so it will give you that background of white, or if you're cutting on clear sticker paper, it will also just keep it clear. Now what you'll do is select both items, and down in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see the word flatten. Go ahead and click flatten. What that does is it tells Design Space that these are two pieces. I liken it to thinking like taking Play-Doh and squishing it together and rolling it around. You can't get it apart ever again. So this just makes it all one single piece. Now when you go to print and cut, it won't cut around your letters. It'll just cut around the outside square. Hey, Ashley. So that, my friend, is how you do print and cut without having it print or cut around all of these things. Hi, Gibby's wife. I am trying to read through everybody's questions as they ask them, and you guys can always watch the replay. If you end up missing some of the beginning, you can absolutely just watch the replay. So don't worry, this will be available for you guys. So another good one to answer for you guys, that since we're on our Design Space screen, is what is Weld? So let me go ahead and I'm just going to get rid of this so that we can start over from the beginning. So what Weld is it's an option in Design Space. And weld means to remove cut lines. That's the easiest way to think about it when you are thinking about cut lines. Weld removes cut lines. So think about it like welding two pieces of metal together. It makes them one piece. This is Magnolia Sky. So what we need to do is, again, space our letters together. Now you can use a couple options to do that. You can either ungroup your letters or you can use the letter spacing. Because we used letter spacing before, I'm going to go ahead and click ungroup up here in the upper right hand corner, and that's going to ungroup our letters. And now you can manually move them. This is not my favorite way to do this because it is not always super easy to move them. You can hold, I believe it's shift. It might be control. One of them does something weird. If anybody remembers which key it is, and it might not work anymore actually because it was definitely one of those keys that kept stuff straight, but it's just not doing it. So it may just be not available anymore. So once you've got all of your font touching, and I'm going to change the color on this so that we can see the font edges a little bit better. And let me go ahead and make this bigger. So now you can see that all of our font is almost touching. I've got a little spot right here and a little one right by the R. So I'm going to move my O over, and then I'm going to go ahead and move my N and my E over a little bit. So we do have, was it shift? Let's see. No, shift still lets me do all kinds of crazy things, but maybe shift. It's shift and the arrow keys. That's what it is. You can do shift and the arrow keys, but it still doesn't really move them in a great way. So now we have all of these letters. Now I'm going to show you something. So if you just attach them and then you go to click make it, and this might take a second because it's been a little bit slow today and it's really huge, so it's going to be mad at me. But do you see these little spots, all these black lines? It's going to cut out each letter and leave it kind of like with a cut line. And A, number one, that's going to look super messy. And B, that's going to cut and be a pain to weed. That's why we use Weld. So what we're going to do is click on Weld. And you'll see over in the Layers panel, our word is going to become one thing, and it says Weld Result. And then it's just one piece. So now when we go to click Make It, and again, it's going to tell me I have to put it on a bigger mat, and that's okay. Do you see that none of those cut lines are here? This is a super important thing, and I know a lot of new users don't know how to do this. They don't know how to space their letters. They don't know how to weld their letters, and this is one of the most important lessons for a new user. I do too, Ashley. Magnolia Sky is one of my favorite fonts. So that is what weld means. Attach is to hold things in place, and group is only used to move things on your mat. It doesn't mean anything after you hit make it. So keep that in mind when you're doing these designs. Tammy wants to know if the maker can cut Velcro straps. As far as I know, it can, but you're going to want to mess around with your cut settings a bit because there are so many different thicknesses for Velcro that I am sure it will do it, but you are going to want to do some test cuts before you like really jump in. But I am sure that it can do it because it can cut denim, it can cut leather, so I'm sure that it can cut a Velcro strip. Absolutely 100% can do that. But again, definitely do some test cuts because that's a super important thing to know how to do, is to do a test cut. And all that is you just make a star or a circle or a square or whatever. Make it about an inch, inch and a half, depending on your material. And then you just try settings to see what cuts the best and what gives you the best cut result. Another question that I see a lot is, can Design Space fill in fonts? And the answer is yes and no. Mostly no. So I'm going to show you guys really quick something. So what I want to show you is if I wanted to draw this, what you do is you go to your line type and select the word draw. And you'll see that now it is just an outline. There's no, and I'll turn my grids back on so you guys can see that. But it's just an outline. So all it's going to do is trace around the letters. And if you don't want it to do that, you either have to choose a writing font from Cricut, which they have options, and I'll show you a couple of those. We'll just use my name again. Wow. Spelling, typing, spelling, not my thing today. So we'll go ahead and just letter space this down. It won't matter because once I change the font, it's going to get a little funky, but we'll get it kind of there. Let me move that out of the way. So if I wanted to do this with a writing font from Cricut, what you'll do is go to the Cricut fonts. You want to filter. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that filter. I'm going to filter it down to writing fonts. Now, you have a bunch of different options, and they're not going to look like what they look like on this screen when they write. So we're going to check out this Alexis one, and I'm going to go ahead and change this line type to draw, and you'll see how it's still not filled in. They're not all going to give you those nice filled in straight lines. So you'll have to play around with it and find one that's going to write in a single line. Like this one writes in a single line. However, being the crafty folk that I am, I figured out how to fill in a font. So let's get rid of this one. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go into my uploads, and you can go to my website to get this SVG, and it's going to look like a big black box. It's just looking like a black box. Go ahead and insert the image. And I know you guys asked a couple questions. I'll get to your questions in 1 second as soon as I show you guys how to do this. So I've got this black box, and I promise you it's not just a black box. I'm going to go ahead and select this and send it to the back. Then what I'm going to do is take my word, and I'm going to go ahead and change this back to the cut setting. I'm going to change its color so it's easier to see again. And then all we're going to do is size it down to fit on our SVG. You can make your SVG as big as you want. It really doesn't matter. So once it's there and we've got our word welded, all you have to do is select both items and click slice. Now, again, Design Space has been slicing a little bit funky lately. So if it does come out funky the first time, just angle it a little bit and it will slice correctly. And it's going to be a little bit slow because this is a really big SVG. So let me see what other questions we have while this thing is trying to slice. Chip Builds wants to know, have I tried to use the Cricut Joy card mat on the other Cricut machines? I have, Ashley. I actually have a video all about how to use the Joy card mat with your other machines. Is there a bold pen that will draw a thick line? Debbie, they do have several options for lines for pens and their thicknesses. So absolutely, you could buy a thicker pen. So if you want to use the SVG though, you just slice it out and then you can get rid of everything you need to. And we'll go ahead and delete that, delete that. You can just pick one of these. It doesn't really matter which one. And I'm going to go ahead and change this over to draw. And you'll see it's going to draw it filled in. Yeah, Slice has been a little bit weird with the update. I have sent them a couple of messages about Slice and some of the things that it's doing and not doing correctly. So they are aware of the issue, but anytime you see something that's funny, just go down and you can absolutely send them feedback. I think the feedback thing moved and it's now on the homepage, but you can absolutely send them feedback. You can shoot them an email. You can call them. Your opinion, honest opinion, is a joy worth it if you already have the Cricut Air and the Maker? Absolutely not, blessed mama. Don't waste your money. If you already have those machines, don't get the joy. It's not worth it. It doesn't cut stuff very well. If you're using non-Cricut brand products, it is a nightmare to get it to cut, to find the right cut settings. I still haven't found the right cut settings, and I've been trying for like 2 months. So do not get the joy. Unless you're somebody that travels and really, really wants to take it with you, the joy isn't worth the money. Not even close. And thank you. I saw somebody commented on the hack. Let me pull that back up. The thicker or bold pen won't color the word in, though. This is a genius technique. Thank you. Yeah, this took me a long time to really like get it to work right. And I haven't had any problems. I've used it on images and stuff. Now, granted, the larger that you make your image, you'll see the lines more, but you can use bolder pens as well. So that does make a difference. So just keep that in mind as well when using this technique. You can also always just duplicate the lines and use them more than once. Chip Build says that she thinks it depends. She has the Maker and bought the Joy for the portability of it, so she can bring it with her. And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to bring it with you, I think it's worth it. But I think if you're somebody who already has the other machines and doesn't travel, 100% not. I bought it to do tutorials. I've used it twice and never touched it again. So that's just something to keep in mind. But there's how you can fill in fonts. It's really fun. You can also do this with images too if you wanted to color in images. I also have videos showing you how to do this with engraving as well. Engraving's really, really cool with this. So if you haven't tried engraving, definitely recommend it. Julie says, do you like using vinyl or HTV on wood? I am a hardcore don't use HTV on wood kind of person. It tends to leave a halo of adhesive around it, and it's fairly noticeable. And especially if you put it on something white, it is going to yellow over time, and it yellows pretty quickly. But if you're doing something that's really, really intricate, like those recipes, using HTV on wood is definitely preferred. But vinyl, if you prep the wood correctly, you can absolutely put regular vinyl on wood. I do recommend sealing the wood with polyacrylic, and it is totally worth it. Ashley says, would this technique would probably work well with the scratch art. You know what? I have yet to try it. I'm going to. That's on my list of things to do this week. So if you guys don't know, Chipped Builds makes some really cool stuff. She has cup holders, and if you give me a second, I'll grab them. And then I'll turn on the webcam so you guys can see them because they're really, really cool. So I have 2 of them from her. I have the small one, which is awesome. And then she just came out with a larger one. And this one holds the 30-ounce tumblers. These are awesome. They're really thick and heavy. They're solid pieces. Like, I'd love to tell you that I haven't dropped them, but I've definitely dropped this at least 10 times. And it's still in perfect condition. So it's really well made. And she has an Etsy shop that you can buy them. Her company is Chipped Builds, and it's super nice. Like, these are such quality. I've got a dog hair stuck to one. And I really, really like them. But she also makes a scratch art tool for your Cricut, which is really, really fun. I've done a video with it, and it's really, really, really cute, and it's super fun projects. Eileen wants to know, Cricut mats don't last. Which is your favorite, standard or strong? Also, do you clean them? So I am a standard mat gal. I like the Nakapa mats, the Monocut mats. There's another one that I just ordered that I haven't tried yet. But anything off-brand mat is like way better than a Cricut mat in my opinion. I do clean them. I clean them either with alcohol-free baby wipes if I just get like a bunch of dog or cat hair on them. Or if they're really, really dirty, I will take them into my sink and clean them with some lukewarm water and Dawn soap. And then I just use my hand. I don't tend to scrub them with a sponge, but I'll just use my hand to get the general dirt off of them. And it really makes a difference. It keeps them super, super clean. It has passed the drop test. It has. I haven't dropped the big one yet, but I have a feeling it's going to do just as well. But honestly, these are fantastic. And I can show you. I'll hold my cup up so you guys can see. It does fit really, really nicely in the little holder. It is a sturdy holder, and I love this thing. It has saved me so much time and like all of my cups rolling everywhere. Gibby's wife wants to know, if you want to make the lettering for an XXL, so a 3XL shirt, can you make each letter separate so the lettering doesn't look too small on such a big shirt? You absolutely can. People do it all the time. You just piece them together. And one reason I love heat tape. Heat tape is a super handy like tool to get from like Amazon, and it's really inexpensive. But it's great because you can put products like that and piece them together and make sure they're really well lined up before you press them. And it's really, really easy to do it that way, but you can absolutely cut each letter separately. It's so much easier that way. Oh, Eileen, I'm so happy. Yay. Yeah, absolutely. Try some off-brands. Well worth the price. T. Mullen Videos would like to know, can you engrave? I assume you mean engrave. He says engage, but I think you mean engrave, my dear. So we'll go with engrave. And yes, you can. However, it is an aftermarket tool. So you want to make sure that your Cricut is over a year old so that it's out of warranty. The use of an aftermarket tool will void your Cricut warranty. Now, that being said, I have used that aftermarket tool probably 25 times on my Cricut, and I have screwed up and had it like fall off the engraving thing, the thing that I was engraving, and it's not broken my Cricut, so I wouldn't worry about it, and there's no way they're going to know that you used an off-brand tool. So keep that in mind, but again, definitely like use at your own risk, but I've never had a problem. Lanita, can you use a spray adhesive to make your mats last longer? You can. People do it all the time. I'm not all about that life. I don't like to do it. If you overspray, it can ruin your materials. You can also gum up your machine if you accidentally get it anywhere on the rollers. Plus, the mats are super cheap. You can get 3 of them for $10. I would rather just buy new mats than go through the hassle of taping off my mat, spraying my mat, making sure I don't get overspray anywhere. So for me, I definitely am more of a like just buy new mats kind of person. But you can absolutely do that if that is so your desire. We have another Instagram question. Instagram wanted to know, what is the purpose of group? It doesn't hold my, this is exactly what somebody said. What is the purpose of group? It doesn't hold my stuff together when I go and click make it. Why is it there? Very good question. So group, and I'll take you guys back over to the screen to show you, because group is a pretty important thing to have, but a lot of people don't understand it. So I'm going to just use some shapes. Let's just pop out some shapes. We'll just use a couple things. Hopefully this won't take too long to load my shapes. All right, we've got some shapies. So I just grabbed some 5 shapes. Now, if I go to click make it right now, it's going to put all of our shapes just in an order that it thinks makes the most sense to save space in your Cricut design space when you go to click make it. That's fine, but let's say that we get these 2 lined up exactly where we want them, and let's use the align tool. Let's just go ahead and let's align the tops of them. That's where we want them, and we want them to stay, but we want to be able to move them because we've aligned these 2. So let's go ahead and say that we have aligned these 2, and let's just align these guys, align them to the top again. But we want these to stay together and these to stay together without having to like click control and holding both of them. That's kind of a pain. What you can do is select both of your items and click the word group. That's going to hold them together on your design space, and you can then move them around rather than accidentally just grabbing one and having to realign everything. Let's say you've got them where you want them and you want to click make it. Watch this. If you go to click make it, these, while they are together, are not actually held together. They can still be moved individually, which we don't want to do. So go ahead and click cancel. So let's say that we have these 2 exactly where we want to put them. What you're going to want to do is use the word attach. So let's try one more thing so you guys can see this maybe a little bit better. It might show better if I do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and keep these 2 attached, and then I'm going to group it with this hexagon and show you guys. So if I've just grouped those together, if you click make it, you'll see that that hexagon isn't where we put it. If I want the hexagon to stay where it is, I have to use attach. Group is only good for moving items within design space itself. so that you can keep items together and aligned where you want them while moving other items around it or placing it inside of other items. Things like that. Debbie says that the Kappa mats hold the vinyl so much better than the Cricut mats. I agree, Debbie. Lanita says, how can you get the cut lines not to show when you put your cursive letters together? Notice when I go to cut, it shows the cut lines where I overlap them. You need to use Weld. We did go over that a little bit earlier, but Weld is how you remove cut lines. That way you can not see them. It won't cut them, but Weld is what you use. Beth says, if anyone wants to clean their mats, I follow Kelly Barlow Creations video way of cleaning my mats. Goo Gone, painter's tape, and spray adhesive. I do it outside in the warmer months, garage when cold. Again, you can absolutely do that. Everybody has their own way to do that. I just am a personal, do not recommend even bothering to spray your mats. It's too much work for me. Like, I don't have that kind of time, and buying new mats is super inexpensive. They're $3 a piece when you can get them for $3 for $9.99. So it's just easier. Let's see what else we got from Instagram. You guys got any more questions? I feel like we always have lots and lots of questions. Somebody did ask, for the Joy, are the Joy pens and blades compatible with your Maker or your Explore? And the answer is no. The Joy is its own entity. You cannot use the blades. You cannot use the pens in anything but the Cricut Joy. So keep that in mind as well if you're going to get a Joy to go with your Cricut family. Nothing that you have with your Maker or your Explorer is compatible with the Joy, including your mats. Now, the blades and mats are interchangeable with the Maker and the Explorer, with the exception of the tools. So the Maker has tools, and I will grab them and show you the difference. I will put my webcam back on for you guys really quick so I can show you, because this only kind of makes sense if I can show you everything. So what I have here is my little Cricut tool holder, and the Cricut has, like I said, interchangeable blade housings for the Maker and the Explorer. However, you cannot use the tools with these gold gears on top of them with your Explorer. These are Maker only tools. This one here is the rotary blade. There are like little interchangeable heads. Some of them are the quick swap housing, so you can't use these in your Explorer, but you can use, this is the foil tool. You can use this in your Explorer, and then this is the Explorer engraving tool that I got, the aftermarket one. But you can use the blades, so the regular just capped blades, which I use red cap blades from 143 Vinyl. You can use the deep cut blades and the deep cut housing. You can use the foil tool. Those are all interchangeable within the Cricut Explorer and Maker families. So that's always a question I get. The pens as well will work in both the Maker and the Explorer. Now you might find some packaging that just says Explorer on it. Don't worry, you can use those with your Maker. They're just old before the Maker existed. Oh, thank you, Gibby. I appreciate that, Gibby's wife. Lorraine wants to know, can you cut fabric on the Explorer Air 2? You can. They do recommend it being bonded fabric, meaning that it has some sort of product attached to it to make it stiffer. However, I do find that a lot of fabric really does okay without being bonded, but you definitely want to get a thicker, heavier fabric. Bonding, you can do things like heat and bond. I've seen people do it with wax paper and freezer paper. I saw somebody else just bond with transfer tape, which actually worked, and I was kind of surprised. But you can definitely cut fabric on the Explorer Air 2. I do recommend, though, if you are somebody who's going to cut fabric all the time, the Maker is probably a better choice for you. Because the rotary blade can do much more precise cuts, so it does make a difference if you're going to cut it all the time. Let's see. Marika wants to know, hi, what are some reasons you chose the Cricut versus the Silhouette Cameo? To be honest, I sort of accidentally chose the Cricut. I didn't really know a whole lot about either one of them when I bought this. And I still am not, I'm just a Cricut gal. There's not really a particular reason. At this point, I have all the Cricut machines. I have all the Cricut accessories. I don't have room for any more machines. So I might eventually get a Silhouette, but not anytime soon. Silhouette definitely does other things, but you can do pretty much everything that you need to with a Cricut that the Silhouette does. You just have to maybe do it in a different way, because Silhouette offers the offset features, the fill features, all within their design software. But you can do everything else with Design Space with like Inkscape and a couple other apps. So once you learn all that stuff, you're fine. Oh, now I see. Now I forgot. You told me I said it right the first time. Jerry's? I think it's Jerry's, which is still, again, awesome name. Would like to know, where did you get all of your Cricut knowledge? YouTube. To be completely honest, I learned how to use my Cricut on YouTube, and for me, I'm pretty like tech savvy, and I also know a lot of design software to begin with, so it was a little easier for me to pick up stuff. But YouTube was definitely a big help. Auntie Tay was like my go-to for information on how to use my Cricut. Jonathan said, hey, this Cricut stuff is hard and I need help. Jonathan, that's what we're here for. I have so many videos on my channel. I think there's over 400 now of Cricut crafts and things you can do. I've got some great beginners ones. I try to make sure that I go through everything that I'm doing. If there's a specific project you're having problems with, you can always reach out. Feel free to ask me. I will guide you best I can through your projects. If you do message me, though, I do ask, please try to give me as much detail as you can, because I can't always like figure out what you're talking about without a lot of extra details. Can the Silhouette software be used with Cricut Design Space? Technically, it can. You cannot cut from the Silhouette software and send it to your Cricut, but you can use the Silhouette software, but you do need to have the business edition and save the design as an SVG and then import it into your Cricut design software and have it cut. So you can do that. Jonathan, you said your Cricut isn't cutting vinyl. What kind of vinyl are you using? What settings are you trying to cut it on, and what Cricut do you have? Sarah says she received an Explorer Air 2 from Santa and was wondering if it can cut thin wood. So people do it, but it's not recommended. And it has to be really, really thin wood. And it's not always the cleanest cut, but it can be done. But it can be, just make sure you're really watching it when it does it, because it can damage your machine. I have all the social medias. I have, let me think. Sorry, I lost my brain there for a second. I do have all the social media. I have TikTok. I have Instagram. I have Facebook. So just search Corinne Blackstone on any of those, and you can find me over there. I have pretty much everything. TikToks, I mostly do like funny videos and like some like Cricut hacks that I find that I can show you in 60 seconds. Instagram, I post a lot of my crafts and things and some previews for tutorials that are coming up. So yeah, just reach out to me anywhere. Martha said that she just got the knife blade kit. Can I use a different housing that I have, or does it require the knife blade housing? You have to have the knife blade housing. I do have that. I'll pull it out for you. I just dropped a little plastic, but that's okay. So this is your knife blade housing, and this has the gold gear on top. You have to use this specific housing. This is a really important part because of the way it holds that blade in. You absolutely have to use this. It's all like one piece, and it's really important that you use that housing. Yes, Auntie Tate is so fun. She's really fun. If you cut fabric on Explore, do I need a special blade and mat? I highly recommend getting the fabric bonded blade for your Cricut Explore, and then I also highly recommend getting the pink fabric mats. They make a big difference when cutting fabric. You're lost when it comes to Canva. Do you have any videos using Canva? Honestly, I think Canva is a fine program. I'm not a big Canva user. I prefer to design everything that I do in Inkscape. It's a lot less steps. It's just a lot easier, in my opinion, but I am not a Canva user, so I can't really help you on that one. The knife blade is for cutting things that are much thicker. Cardboards will sometimes require a knife blade. Some of the EVA foam has asked for a knife blade, and then the balsa and chipboard requires a knife blade. It is not the same housing as the scoring blade, and I'll show you guys the difference between the two. So, except that's not my scoring blade. That's my scoring. Okay, so if you can see the tops of these, and I'm gonna like let this load real quick so I can show you the tops of them. I just want to make sure you guys can see these. Okay, so you can see the tops of them. Do you see how this one is flat and this one has a bump on it? This one does not take the bottom off. Like, you don't pull the bottom off. This one is the quick swap housing, which is required for things like the scoring blade and the engraver and the debossing tool. But you just press the little plunger down and this bottom piece comes off, and it's interchangeable. So you can't use your knife blade with the quick swap housing. You have to have the knife blade and the knife blade housing. It's all one piece. So I hope that helps. They're a little, the housings, once you see them in person, it's really easy to tell the difference. I have tons of Inkscape tutorials, Roberta. There's a whole playlist on my channel. Lanita, do you have any videos for Inkscape? I do. I do have Inkscape videos. I have quite a few. Will it cut through leather or just engrave leather? You can cut leather with your Cricuts. They do cut leather. Chip Build said she didn't know they were interchangeable when she first bought them. A lot of people didn't. I don't think they made that very clear when they sold the new tools that these were interchangeable. My engraving tool is super dirty. But like, I have the engraving tool, and then I have all the different heads that go on them. So I have like the perforation tool and the bossing tool and the wavy tool. So they have these little extra heads, and you just pop the old head off, the one that you don't want, and you can put the new one on, and then you've got your new head. But yeah, they're all interchangeable for the quick swap housings. So that's the debossing tool, the wavy tool, the engraving tool, the what else am I forgetting? Perforation tool, and the single and double scoring blades are also all interchangeable. So yes, those are all the ones. I think that, is that, yeah, that's everybody. There's a lot of tape. There's a lot of tools. It's hard to keep them all straight. I do have my phone here so you guys know I'm looking down to read your questions. Jerice said, is there a purpose for the other side of the blade that comes with the maker? I think it's the cutting blade for vinyl. It comes out of the housing. It just looks like it has a purpose. It doesn't. There's no purpose to it. It's just the way they built the housing. What brand of vinyl do I recommend? I recommend StarCraft HD for permanent vinyl, StarCraft SD for removable vinyl. I recommend StarCraft Softflex for HTV, as well as Caesar. Caesar has a great HTV. Their Easy Weed line is fantastic. Their glitter line is great. I love their metals. I pretty much like all of the Caesar brand. StarCraft has great stuff too. They do electrofoil. They have printable HTV. So StarCraft is a great brand just all around. Have you ever used a drawing tablet? Is it worth having? I have a drawing tablet. I'm not a good drawer, so it was not worth it for me. But then I got an iPad with an iPad pencil, and I got Procreate, and I'm like obsessed. So if you already have an iPad and it's something you want to get into, I recommend an iPad. I feel like there's more you can do with that versus like the drawing tablets. How long do cutting blades last? That's a really good question, and there's no right answer because it's going to depend on how much you use it, what you use to cut, how well you take care of it, what kind of materials you use. So there's just too many factors. But I do have a video coming out that's going to show you guys how to know when to change your blades. And the biggest thing I can tell you is when your material stops cutting nicely and it feels like your vinyl like is perforated, it almost feels like a cracking when you're pulling your vinyl off and you're weeding and your paper's ripping really bad, it's time to change your blade. I purposely cut with a bad blade for the last 2 weeks just so I could get a really bad blade to show you guys the difference in how it cuts with a good blade and a bad blade. And I'll give you guys a preview of it because I have it right here. So the one that is on this side here was cut with the old blade. This is a really bad blade. I had this in my machine forever and it was terrible. And then this one was cut with a brand new blade. So you can really see the difference in how well this cut versus how badly this one cut. And this one was really, really hard to weed. I lost a ton of letters. I eventually gave up and got mad at it. So that's kind of how you know, like, when to change your blade. When weeding your vinyl gets really, really hard, it's time. It was probably past time if your weeding vinyl is really, really hard. Drema asked, is Inkscape easier to use than Design Space? No. There's definitely a learning curve. It does take some time and practice, but once you really like start to learn how to use it, it's pretty easy. Inkscape's good. She says she also digitizes for machine embroidery, so Design Space is easy for me. I'm watching in case there's something I missed and for a refresher. Well, welcome, Maggie. We're so happy to have you. Marika says 143 Vinyl is a great source to get vinyl. Yes. Yes, it is. I am a 143 affiliate, if you guys don't know. So anytime you shop through my link, it helps support what I do here on YouTube, so I can continue to create this free content for you guys. So if you could shop through my link, I would so greatly appreciate it, and then use code GET5 to save an additional 5%. All of my affiliate links are linked down below for you guys. But again, I'd so appreciate it if you shop through my links, because it does help me like continue this. I love doing this. I love giving you guys free content, but it's not free for me to make it. So it's pretty pricey when it really comes down to buying all the materials and all the filming equipment and my time and everything else, because a lot of what I make for these videos has no purpose. I can't resell it. It's not, I just make it for videos. So it does add up. So just keep that in mind. But I would so appreciate if you would shop through my links. Even your bad blade looks better than my new one. Definitely try changing up those cut settings. Debbie, that's actually kind of a myth with the having two separate blades thing. As long as you clean your blade before you cut paper, you're fine. Clean your blade by stabbing into a ball of tinfoil, and that cleans off any of the adhesive from your vinyl. There's absolutely no reason to have two separate blades for cardstock and vinyl. It's kind of an old wives' tale. You're welcome to do that, but it's really just an extra step that you don't need to do. What's the best iron on buying? I'm assuming you're just asking what the best iron on is. In my opinion, StarCraft Soft Flex. It is a matte finish. It's super thin and super soft, so it doesn't look like it's a sticker on top of your shirt like a lot of other vinyl does. Have you made projects in Procreate and put them in Design Space to make projects? I have, Jennifer. I have. I 100% have. I just did the video with the recipes where you trace it, but I'm going to be doing a video teaching you guys how to make your own stickers with an offset and how to do your own drawn stickers and things like that, because they're really, really fun. You can just kind of trace over things, and it's really, really fun to do those. 143 Vinyl is the place, and it's linked in the video description. I will give you guys the direct link here in the chat. Give me 1 second, because I can do it right from here. Maybe. If I can type, we'd be doing awesome. So again, make sure you use code GET5 to save 5%. Let me just flip this so I can actually type better. I'm just getting you guys the link real quick for 143 Vinyl. They are fantastic. Jeanette says she just purchased a maker and waiting on it to arrive. Anything I should consider / do when getting started, moving from an older brother's scan and cut? So first thing I would do is download Design Space. You can download Design Space before you even get your machine, get your account set up, and start playing. Just start messing around with buttons. You're not going to break anything. I promise you cannot break anything. Start watching videos. Get some supplies. Get a few inexpensive things from like the Dollar Tree. Get a couple coffee mugs, maybe a few flower vases or candle holders, things like that to get you started, to get used to putting vinyl on things. And then from there, you can start really expanding what you have, but definitely start playing with Design Space. It's really, really fun. Yes, coloring pages to make SVGs is super duper duper fun. If you guys want to know how to do that, I do have a video on that. It is really, really fun. I can link that one for you guys real quick if you want to see that one. It's really fun to do, and it's honestly so easy that I'm shocked more people don't know how to do it. But it is a little finicky from time to time. So it does take a little practice. But I'll get you guys a link for that one because somebody did mention that. And that one is super fun. That was probably one of my favorite videos that I've made over like the main quarantine. Because I just... Listen, at one point I was losing my mind. I'm sure most of you were. So this was a fun video to make during quarantine. Cricut has a 50% off sale today. Again, meh. I don't like Cricut stuff. I really don't. I don't like their vinyl. I don't like most of their products. So unless it's tools or the mats are like really cheap, like under $3 a piece, not really worth it. Let's see. Martha, since the new update, I don't have the slice option. Is there a reason for this? Martha, we just went over this, but likely you're selecting more than 2 items on your layers panel or not enough items. You can only select 2, so make sure you're doing that, and then your slice will show up. Let's see. iSteph says, I always order from 143. I wasn't aware of your code, but I will use your link from now on. You're a wonderful teacher. Well, thank you. You're so sweet. That just makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. And then Chip Build said Dollar Tree is great for blanks. Absolutely. They have so many good blanks. And bless Mama, Martha, log off and log back in. Sometimes that helps. And it does. Sometimes if Design Space is just being weird, just log off and log back on. How do you copy someone's signature to put on vinyl? It looks hard. It's not. One thing that you can use is Procreate if you have it. And you just trace it with your Apple Pencil. Just like I did the recipe video last week, 2 weeks ago. Or there is another app that is called Imagine Design. I think it's Imagine Design. And for that one, you just use like a stylus works best. And you can... there's the link for that video. But if you're using the stylus on your phone, you can just do the same thing where you just trace over it. So it's really, really easy to do. Irene wants to know, how about the Cricut press tool? Do you mean the Cricut EasyPress? I don't have one. I know a lot of you do. It's not a terrible tool, especially if you don't have a lot of space. But I do find that it is really hard to get a good pressure, even heat, all of that. It wouldn't be my first choice. I would get a heat press if you can afford it and if you have space for it. Leslie wants to know, where can I get the vinyl? I go to 143vinyl.com, and that's where I get all of my vinyl from. I also use Arteza vinyl as well, but I go through 143 vinyl. Marilyn says that she started with shirts and she's now expanding to non-HTV products. That is awesome. That's super fun, and I'm super excited because once you start with one type of vinyl and you can move to another, it's really fun to see all the things that you can do. I started with adhesive vinyl and moved over to HTV, and it was really, really fun to learn the different things. Debbie says that the sale's great deal on the machine bundles and tools only, and she only buys her vinyl from 143. Marilyn says she also loves 143. Yay, I'm so glad all of you love them. They are fantastic. Their customer service is top-notch. The products they sell are fantastic. If you ever have a question, you can always reach out to customer service. They are there for you. Even if it's just a simple, like, how do I cut this? They know how to use their products. Let's see. Bless Mama. Yes, space for it is my big thing. That's why I have an EasyPress. I can put it away. Yeah, my problem is I don't have anywhere to put an EasyPress away. I literally don't have space for an EasyPress. My heat press sits on top of my toolbox. Is Design Space the only way to use Cricut? Example, can you use any other programs to be compatible with the Cricut? Design Space is the only way to send your design to Cricut. However, you can design in pretty much any program as long as you can bring that design into Cricut. So you can use Photoshop, you can use Fonto on your phone, you can use Procreate, you can use Inkscape, you can use Silhouette Studio. I'm sure there's more. Imagine app, that's another one. But you can use tons and tons. Adobe Capture. You can use all kinds of SVG websites that will convert SVGs for you. So as long as you can create the file and it's compatible with Design Space, which you can use JPEGs, PNGs, SVGs, all that stuff with Design Space, you can bring it in there. It can cut it. You don't have to design in Design Space. You just have to cut through Design Space. Tan Taylor says, hi, do you sublimate? Do you do sublimation? You prefer it over vinyl. What about printable vinyl? What are your views? So they're all like three very different things. So for anyone who doesn't know, sublimation is done on high polyester count items. And if you've ever heard of Cricut Infusible ink, that's just sublimation. I have done sublimation. I like it. I think it's cool. Is it something I would do a ton of? No, but that's because I don't have a printer that's sublimation. But I have ordered sublimation pre-printed things from like Etsy, and it is really fun. And what sublimation is it actually dyes the fabric of the shirt, so there's nothing on top of the shirt. So it doesn't get real heavy, which is nice. Same thing with the infusible ink. It's the same type of way. It doesn't have like a heavy feel. And then she wanted to know if I preferred it over vinyl. As far as like if I was using a ton of colors, absolutely. Sublimation is the way to go. Printable HTV, same kind of idea. It's kind of heavy. It's got like a stiff feeling. It doesn't stretch at all. So if you're putting it over a larger chested woman or a tighter shirt, the printable vinyl maybe isn't the way to go. Sublimation would definitely be the way to go. But if it's just a few layers, HTV is great. Especially if you're using a softer HTV. It's the only way you're going to get like glitter look too. If you want to do like a glittery shirt, glitter vinyl, you're not going to be able to get that with a printable product or sublimation. So they're just definitely like different options. And I do like all of them, but they're all definitely for like different uses. Wendy asks, are coloring pages like a mandala SVG? Kinda. They're just like an outline, and then you use contour to fill in the parts that you want in what color you want them in. Ashley asked, did I get any crafty stuff for Christmas? I did. I actually got a couple rolls of Tech Wrap vinyl and frog vinyl that I wanted to try. And then I also got some equipment for my filming room. I got a new tripod. I got some new like gooseneck holders for ring lights and stuff. So yeah, I did get a ton of cool like crafty things. Listen, Lorraine, I know it's overwhelming. It is. There's a lot to learn, but you'll pick it up. Once you start getting the easy, like simple projects, which is like a single color vinyl, then move on to doing 2 colors of vinyl, move on to doing HTV or whatever it is. If you just start with one project, master that project, and then slowly move on, you will be fine. If this is honestly, I know it's overwhelming. There's a lot of knowledge. It does take a long time to learn, but you will be okay. That's why we're here. We're here to help. Roberta says, is Procreate and Imagine both Apple? Procreate is Apple. I think the Imagine app is on both Android and Apple. And you know what? I know it is because I did use it on my Android phone. So you can definitely use it on both. You're so welcome, Tan Taylor. Blessed Mama says that Lorraine, when I first started, I would take note, rewatch the video and take note, or as you go and then go back to see your notes. Yeah, notes are definitely important. I had a ton of notes when I started. I would write down each step and then go to my Design Space. If I had a question, I would go back to the video, watch it again. And there's tons of groups, and you can always reach out to me, and I will try to guide you best I can as far as helping you. Again, you can reach out to me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube. If you're watching one of my videos and you have a question on it, feel free to comment that question down below. I typically will get back to you at the longest 8 hours. It just depends on what time you comment. So keep that in mind too. You can absolutely reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you guys. That's what I'm here for. That is what I do. That is why I'm here. Let's see. I just got a question on Instagram. So let's see what the gram has to say. Let's see. This person would like to know, when cutting more than one color, does Cricut Design Space separate them? So the answer is yes. If you're cutting more than one color, Cricut Design Space knows that. I'll take you over back to the screen to show you guys. Let me switch my screen back to Cricut. I was reading your comments on my screen. So let's just use these shapes again. I'm going to go ahead and detach them and ungroup them and all of that stuff. because I don't want them grouped or any of that. So we'll just go ahead and kind of get rid of all of that. And let's ungroup them. And I gotta ungroup these guys. This is sort of the downfall to grouping things. Occasionally, your design space just wants to kind of make up its own thing and not want to do what you want it to do. So we'll just ungroup. Okay. So let's just make a couple different colors. So let's say that I want to cut all these shapes in a couple of different colors. It doesn't matter what color I choose right now. So I want to make 4 colors. I want to do red, green, blue, and then we'll just say black. When you go to click Make It, your Cricut design space knows that you have different colors. So it's going to separate them onto your different mats. It makes it really, really easy, and it tells you exactly what order they go in and what mat to load in next. Now, let's say that you decided you don't want this red, you want it yellow. It doesn't matter what color you make it in design space. It only matters what color you load onto your mat and into your machine. So you can load yellow vinyl, purple vinyl. It doesn't matter. Whatever color you load into your machine is what it will cut. Cricut has no idea what color you're putting on your mat. So that's kind of a nice little handy dandy little trick. Let's see, we've got another Instagram question. Let me pull that one up. You guys got any more questions? I love a good question. Oh, what is my favorite weeding tool? My favorite weeding tools are the pin pen. I got mine from 143 Vinyl. I'll switch you guys back over to the webcam real quick. But I got my pin pen from 143 Vinyl. And I think did I switch you guys? I have no idea. Yes, there you are. So that's a really handy tool, and stab and grab tweezers. Both super handy, really love them. The hook tool is pretty good too from Cricut, but I'm like a straight kind of pin kind of gal. Oh, Cassandra, you're so welcome. I love doing this. This is like what I do. Oh, Julie, you're welcome. You guys, I really love sharing my knowledge with you. This is like my passion. I've been super blessed that I have been able to do my passion and find my passion and share it with the world. And I'm so happy that I'm able to do this for you guys because I love sharing. Let's see. I do have a question from Facebook, and it is, why do Cricut fonts have a lot of space between each other? Because design space just is crazy. It's the only program that really I've seen that really leaves space between your letters. And I think it's just kind of a flaw in their system. I'm not sure I fully understand why they do it that way, but here we are. I do wish that they would change it. But again, it's something that we can send them as feedback and say, hey, you know what would be great is if you guys would stop with the whole making this, us having to move these letters. And we can always ask them to change that for us. So we can definitely do that. Marilyn asked me, please consider series and designing in different programs and importing to DS as an SVG. While I don't really do series, I do have videos that show you Procreate and Inkscape right now and how to create SVGs and how to load them into your Cricut design space. I will be doing a few more coming up throughout the next couple months. So, yeah. Do you use light boxes? I can talk. Do you use light boxes for weeding? What are your weeding tips? I don't use a light box. It didn't help. I have one. I didn't find it helpful, but I know some people do, and that's awesome. And it does help on the darker stuff, but my tips are bright lighting. Make sure you have good lighting wherever you're doing it. Overhead really helps a lot. Use a pin pen or a pair of stab and grab tweezers. Definitely make sure you're using a good quality tool set in order to make that weeding easier. Also, make sure that you are using the right cut settings. If you're not using the right cut settings or your blade is old, weeding's going to be a nightmare regardless of what you're trying to do. Also, if you're weeding white vinyl and you're having a really hard time seeing it, using a little piece of colored chalk, just kind of like put some chalk dust on it and rub it around. That can help you see the cut lines really well. You can also use line marking dust. So from like a construction crew, they get the line marking dust and it's red. You can get that at any hardware store. It's pretty inexpensive, but that works as well. Ashley says, oh, I like a good design with me video. I can definitely do some of those. I will be doing some with Procreate for sure, and I'll be doing some with Inkscape, so there will definitely be some of those. Who makes the stab and grab tweezers, and did you link it below? I didn't link it below yet, but I will. I get mine from 143 Vinyl. I will link their tool section for you guys because there's where you can get the pin pen and stab and grab tweezers, plus my favorite squeegee and this really cool tool holder that I have. They have like all kinds of good stuff, and I absolutely love their tools. They are like a huge bunch of tools that I love. I have just recently tried a headlamp for weeding. It really helped. Yeah. So as crazy as it sounds, those headlamps that you can get that like make you look like a miner, they work really, really well. Those are awesome and they are super helpful. But that bright light really makes a huge difference when you are weeding. It's amazing to me how much difference that light really, really makes. I absolutely I love having it. I have a ring light that I'll use, or I'll use some of my filming lights too. So that can be like a big difference, especially on the dark colors. Hi! I'm so happy you guys are here. This is fun. Oh, you guys are so welcome. This is really fun for me. I just love getting the questions and then being able to help you guys learn how to use your Cricut. Again, I have tons and tons of videos. Like I said, I think there's 401 now. I don't remember, but there's a lot of them. Roseanne says that she has all the pin pen colors. Her husband bought them for her and could not decide which color you like best, so he bought them all. Girl, you will put a pin pen down, forget where you put it, and then be like, oh, thank God I have all these other ones, because I cannot tell you how many times I have put down a pin pen and gone, where did I just set that down? It was in my hand 2 seconds ago. I love my pin pens. They're so, so handy. They come in a ton of great colors. Red and mint, purple, silver and blue. I think there's a rose gold. There's tons. I just looked. I have exactly 400 uploads. So I have 400 videos for you guys. Which I can't believe I have 400. Somebody on Instagram just asked me, how did I get started on YouTube? And honestly, I just made a video teaching somebody how to download a font, and I kind of enjoyed it, so I did a couple other simple things. They kind of took off, and I said, well, this is fun. This will keep me busy in the evenings when I'm crafting, and then I, can craft for videos. And here I am almost 3 years later, and I love it, and this is now my job, so it's really fun. Hey, girl. Hey. My friend Terry is here. Hi, Terry. Let's see. Gibby's wife. This is the best Cricut tutorial I've seen. You're so knowledgeable. Thank you. You're so sweet. Julie said that she shared this with her friend Kristen and who just got a maker for Christmas. Well, yay, Kristen. That's exciting. We have a thank you for doing this. I don't use my machine. Intimidated by it. Only use print and cut. Girl, use your machine. Get that sucker going. I always tell people, I know it's intimidating. However, keep in mind, the worst thing that's going to happen is you mess up a project and you start over. So what? You waste a piece of paper. You waste a piece of vinyl. It's fine. It's not going to break your machine. You will not break your machine. I promise. Just jump in and do it. It's so worth it. It is so worth it. Tan Taylor, tips or items used for placing designs straight on a flat and curved items. So curved items, I'm not great at. There are websites that tell you like the curve percentage you need, but you need to measure like the circumference of your cup. That's a math thing. That's out of my league, but you can do it that way. Also, if you're putting it on a cup, I'll put water in it and use that for my straight line. You can also use a level and rulers. Those make a big difference. Dry erase markers are great for glass. So what I'll do is I'll use a level and a ruler and I'll make those nice straight lines. And then I can use that dry erase marker line to keep things straight and even and centered. So there's lots of little tricks you can do as far as keeping stuff centered. Let's see. Chip Build says, that's the ultimate goal, to YouTube my job. I'm so jealous. It's a lot of work, but it's totally awesome. I am my own boss now, but also it's super stressful because obviously this is my income. So here I am. But it is really exciting, and I'm super excited to be able to spend more time with you guys. I'll be able to go live more often. I'll be able to be on answering your questions more often. I want to start doing a live series. I'm just not sure what it's going to be yet, but that's going to come in 2021. I've got lots of ideas for 2021. Debbie says the stab and grab tweezers and the pin pen are the best. They really are. Marilyn said that she did the floating ornament following my video. Oh, well, yay, that's fun. Coda crafts, that's a math thing. Girl, we are the same. Yes. Math is not my thing. I cannot math. Math is not a skill I suggest. Tan Taylor says, water, I will definitely try. Markers, got it. Sounds good. Yeah, those are my main, like, tips to try to get everything straight. You can also actually get one of, like, those self-healing mats because they have the grid on them. And if you're putting something on something clear, use that grid to help you make it straight. That does make a big difference, too. Let's see. Love my babies forever. It's been 3 years. I'll be jumping in and taking your advice. I love your tutorials, by the way. I will stop following some of them finally. Good. Good. Trust me, you're going to be fine, and once you really get going and start playing with it, you're going to be unstoppable. You really are. And Marilyn says that she also made stencils. Got to practice different things. The machine survived, and it was cool. Yeah, stencils are super, super fun. I love the stencils, and I just got, if you guys watched any of the 12 DIYs of giveaways from Auntie Tay, she did the icon art one, and I was their featured thanker on her video, and I ordered it, and I haven't played with it yet because that's like, I've been trying to take it a little bit like light this last couple days because of the holidays, but I got their icon art stencil kit, so I'm really excited to start playing with that. So I have ones that can do screen print transfers for textiles, so shirts and things, and then I also got the regular transfers, and those are reusable, so that's super fun. Gibby's wife, Cricut should give you a raise. How do you let them know how helpful you are? You can honestly shoot them an email and tell them that I've helped you, but Cricut doesn't like me, so Cricut does not pay me. I do all of this out of the goodness of my heart. Honestly, Cricut does not. I am not affiliated with Cricut in any way as far as them giving me product or paying me for anything. Nothing with them at all. It's just me on my own. So here I am. But I do like their machine, so it is what it is. But you are welcome to send them an email and tell them you love me. How do you make window clings? Window clings are like a separate kind of vinyl, and it's static clingy. So you can cut those on your machine in any shapes that you want. I do ones, the way I do it, I actually lay a regular vinyl onto a window cling. I do have videos about how to do that. It's really, really fun. I really like making them that way because you get multiple colors. You can also just use removable vinyl because it does come off pretty easy as well. Let's see. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Eileen. Roseanne, don't forget you can like her videos. Just click that thumbs up. Yeah, please, thumbs up me. I love that. You can also comment on my videos and share my videos. Those are all great ways to help support me as well. That cost you not a dime, just a few seconds of your time. So if you're in a group and somebody's asking a question and I have a video about it, it means the world to me to see you guys sharing my knowledge with everybody else. So I really do appreciate that. Love my babies forever. I just learned that they're horrible with affiliates too. See, I don't have like general knowledge of what they do. They have Cricut experts. So I don't really know. I never wanted to be one, so I have no idea. Marilyn says that she needs to better understand how to use the Design Bundles website to see if it's better than Design Space Access. The Design Bundles website's actually super easy to work with. It is, let me go over there and I can show you. Give me 1 second to get that website pulled up and log out just so you guys don't get any of my login information because it is there. Let me log out and I'll show you guys a little bit on Design Bundles, how to use them, because it is really, really easy and really, really fun. Love My Baby says they get all the publicity but don't pay much outside of giving the machine, so we appreciate you. Oh, thank you. Christy wants to know, what's the weeding pen called and where can I buy it? Sorry if I'm late to the game. Girl, you good? The weeding pen is called a pin pen, and you can find it right there under the tools link that I just shared. And make sure that you guys go to the, whatever it's called, you know, the place with the thing and the stuff. Yeah. The website. And use Get 5 to save 5%. Oh, it's been a long weekend. All right, so this is our Design Bundles website. It's super fun. I love this website. They have so many great products, and it's really, really easy to use. So you have lots of options. You can go to the bundles. They have free designs, new designs, they offer deals, and then they also have a plus membership. And then they have everything kind of broken out into different sections. But one of my favorite sections is the free designs, because who doesn't love free stuff? And they do all kinds of different designs, and they change all the time. So all you'll need to do is just select whichever design you want. Some of them are SVGs, some of them are printables, some of them are like digital papers that you can use for backgrounds and stuff like that. And all you have to do is just select the item, and then once you log into your account, which I can't do because again, this shows too much information, but once you log into your account, you just scroll down and it'll have a little download right here. And then all you have to do is unzip the folder once you've saved it. It's really easy, and unzipping is pretty simple stuff. Let me take you back to the cam. I also am an affiliate with Design Bundles. So again, if you want to shop through my links, those are down in the description box down below. But I love Design Bundles. They're fantastic. And I will say that in my opinion, you get more with them than you do with Design Space Access because they have more updated stuff. Their stuff is a little bit like more on trend than Design Space. And they have more like layers and things like that. Let's see. Gibby's wife, I've been sharing your videos all the way through. Truly, I have been. That was too funny. Oh, thank you. I do appreciate it. I really do. You guys, this is like something that I accidentally did and turned out to be something I love. It's honestly something, I've always been a crafter ever since I was a little girl with my mom. I don't know if you guys have always crafted, but it's always been something I've done, you know, yarn crafts and things like that. I crochet now. So it's really, really something that is truly I am passionate about. Cassandra, I love your perspective outlook on Cricut. I love my Cricut and need all the help I can get. I do love my Cricut. I do. I love the machine. The machine is great. We'll leave it at that. The machine is great. Happy accidents. Yes, it was a happy accident. And I love being, you know, able to share all this and have other people learn how to use their Cricut and how to love their Cricut and love crafting. I don't have just Cricut videos too. I do have some other ones that are just kind of general crafts, especially in the month of April. We did Craft for the Curve, which was basically everybody stuck at home. Why don't we do some crafts, some really fun, easy stuff. I've got like some bead crafts. I did some of those perler beads, the melty beads. I did like a faux stained glass. I mean, I just did a lot of fun things, and it's a great way to keep yourself busy when, you know, you don't have anything else to do. It's great. Is that the Hogwarts castle behind me? It is. I'll scoot over a little bit, see if you guys can see it. That is the giant Lego Hogwarts castle, along with some more Harry Potter Legos up on that shelf that you really can't see. But yes, that's my Hogwarts castle. I love it. I also have the Diagon Alley set, and I have a bunch of the Harry Potter Legos. So I have a Harry Potter Lego obsession. That was actually a anniversary gift from my husband for our first anniversary, I think it was the first. He got me that in a heat press, so I got spoiled. But yeah, I love it. It's super fun. All right, guys, we have been hanging out for a while. Do you guys have any last minute questions? Happy to answer anything. You guys can answer me, like ask me personal questions too if you want. I mean, honestly, I don't care. If I'm uncomfortable answering it, I won't answer it. But you guys are welcome to ask me questions. Like for example, somebody on TikTok asked me, "How many pets do you have?" I have a dog, 5 cats, and 2 guinea pigs. So I have lots of them. Lots and lots. Hi, Julie. Julie just hopped on. You are so welcome, Julie. And she said she's learned so much from watching my tutorials. Hey, viewers, smash that like button. You are so sweet. Yes, I love having you guys here. It's so nice of you. Gulf Coast Art by Jenny. Can you tell me how to open a saved project back in the new project space with the grids? I'm sorry, I'm new to using Cricut. How to open a saved project back into the new project space with grids. Sure. Give me a second. Let me pop over to Design Space. I think I understand what you're asking me. So this should take you back to the screen. Let me just double check that you guys are on the screen here. This is the first time I've been using the shortcut buttons, so I don't always trust them. All right, we are on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to, I assume you just want to see me open like a project of my projects that I have with the grids. So all you have to do if your grids are off, let's just use the Pippo. I'm going to click Customize, And we'll go ahead and replace just the shapes that we did. And if your item doesn't have grids behind it, you can either simply click this little, see this little empty box right here? Click that, and it's going to open up your grids. You can do this style grid or the super like small grid, which is super fun. Or you can also go up into the little 3 lines, and there are options right over here. I have to find them. I never use this way, so usually I just go to, I think it's under settings if I recall. Yes. If you go under settings, you can actually set it so it always opens your grid. I don't use the grid too often, but you can absolutely just save it so that it always opens your grid, which is really helpful. My favorite place to get shirts is Jiffy Shirts, Shirt Space, and I actually like Walmart for shirts. They have a lot of good shirts too. Tony says, we are brand new to Cricut and we want to use it to create embellishments for scrapbooking. Well, that is exciting, and you can absolutely do that. There are tons of great options for scrapbooking designs, and you can find so many things both on Design Space and on some of the websites down below, Creative Fabrica, and you can do design bundles, and I have a membership with Auntie Tay that is awesome. She's got lots of printables and stuff like that too, so there are tons of options. Cassandra wants to know, she's just curious, do you do anything with a printer? I do. I do a lot of print and cut. I print and cut stickers. I print and cut tags. I've done t-shirts. So there's a whole playlist on my YouTube channel with all of my print and cut stuff. Marilyn wants to know, do you seal vinyl on cups like the Starbucks with polyacrylic? You don't. You don't ever want to seal anything on your cups because A, the sealant will crack off, especially on these Starbucks ones because they're flexy. So you don't want to do that. They're kind of squishy. So any sealant's going to crack off. Plus it's going to leave a haze. You don't need to seal as long as you use permanent vinyl. If you do want to seal, you can't seal these plastic ones with epoxy because the epoxy leaches through the plastic. It's not safe. And with them being flexy, it'll crack off. And also, you can do like the stainless steel cups with epoxy if you want to. But no, you don't need to seal, and you really shouldn't seal. It's not good for it. And it's going to crack off and not last. So something to think about when you are doing things like that. If you guys are also interested, I have a couple free SVGs on my website. One of them is the fill for your text and your images. And then the other one is a sunflower that you can cut out and make like a really cute banner with, which I did. I'm also going to start offering for sale SVGs. I'll keep them really inexpensive. I just want to share my designs with you guys. I also over there try to put, like, if there's Black Friday sales, I did Prime Day sales, stuff like that. You can find links to all my social medias. All my affiliate links are over there as well. Lots of fun stuff going on. 2021 is going to be a huge year. If you guys haven't found me on TikTok, I'm over there, just Corinne Blackstone 0, all one word. Put tons of funny videos. I do Cricut tips, post some of my crafts, so those are really fun. I'm over on Instagram as well, Corinne_Blackstone Crafts. Those are really fun. I post a lot of craft videos. I post stories all the time. I like to interact and ask you guys questions. It's a really fun place to kind of get to know me. I post some personal stuff over there as well. So there's lots of fun things to be had over on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You can find the group and my business page, both linked below in the video's description. There's a lot going on. Like I said, 2021 is going to be huge. I have plans to go live with you guys at least once a month here on YouTube, if not twice. I'm going to be going live on Instagram more often, and I'm going to be going live on TikTok from time to time. So I'd love to have you guys come join me on the social medias. It's a real fun place. We do all kinds of good times. I'm also on my Facebook group a lot. I like to see what you guys are doing. So if you're not on my Facebook group, please join, because I love to see the crafts that you create. And it's really fun to see you guys post what you have made. I absolutely love it. I know a couple of you guys did the Grinch, the giant Grinch that we made. And those were so fun to see how well your guys came out. They came out beautiful. So it's really, really fun. If you guys, again, if you have more questions, post them in the comments. I will happily answer them for you. Reach out to me on any of my social medias. I hope you all had really, really fun time. I did. I enjoyed myself. If you guys have further questions, let me know. Oh, thank you, Ashley. You're so sweet. That was so nice of you. You didn't have to do that. You guys are so cute. All right, let me double check, make sure I got everybody's questions. Let's see. Tan Taylor, do you make tumblers and seal them? If so, do you apply permanent vinyl after sealing or before sealing on top of the glitter and paint? What is your process? I have a video that shows you guys all about how I do my glitter epoxy tumblers. I do the epoxy glitter method where I epoxy it and then I put my glitter on it, do another layer of epoxy and then put my decals and then a final layer of epoxy. I don't seal anything that isn't with epoxy. I don't seal any plastic tumblers because it's dangerous and you don't need to when you're using permanent vinyl. Gulf Coast says, okay, when I click customize, it doesn't take me to that screen. Gulf Coast, if you are not on my group, do me a favor. And if you can, either use your phone or your take some screenshots. Send me a message on Facebook or Instagram or somewhere with some of those pictures. I want to help you because I'm not sure I know what yours is doing. And I want to know what the heck it's doing and I want to try to help you. But I'm not sure how to make mine do it to make yours do it, if that makes sense. So yeah, shoot me a message. We'll figure you out. I'm not sure what yours is going. Yes, Maggie, thank you for the thumbs up. And Roseanne says subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Yes, you guys, please subscribe. I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family. Hit that bell. That will let you know when I post new videos. Also will let you know when I go live. So you won't miss out on any of the fun. Gibby says, thank you so much. I feel like we are all family here. Never afraid to ask a dumb question. You are and all the lovely subscribers here. Always so encouraging. Listen, I live to be encouraging. That is my life. I want you guys to love to craft just like I do, and we are family. So you are all my BFFs. Let's be honest. Cassandra says she's got to get busy watching my videos, and she loves the hippo. Lorraine says, what do you seal outdoor vinyl wood signs with? My husband used polyurethane, and the white vinyl turned yellowish. If you use permanent vinyl, you don't seal over it. It's the easiest answer I can give you, but you do want to seal under it. I seal with polyacrylic, and then I put my vinyl over that. Julie says, sweet chip builds. Yes, it was very sweet. Thank you so much. That was so sweet of you. I will definitely get a Starbucks. Happy New Year. Nice chatting with you. Have a great day. Yes, Happy New Year. We have a private question. Do you by any chance live close to Huntsville, Alabama? I'm a pet sitter in Huntsville, and she'd love to watch all my fur babies. I don't. I live in Northeast Ohio. It was fun. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so sweet. You guys are super fun. Alexis Hall says, you've been a hair saver for me today. I was slowly pulling my hair out because I wanted to knock out so bad. Thank you very much. You are so welcome, you guys. Again, don't hesitate to reach out. I love talking to you guys. You guys are seriously my best friends forever. I love all of you dearly. You guys are really fun. Again, feel free to share any of my videos with any of your friends. I'm sure you guys know people that got Cricut for Christmas. I did. I had like 3 or 4 friends get one, and every one of them was like, what do I do? And I'm like, I got you. Don't worry. We got this. So don't be intimidated by your machine. You guys will absolutely be fine. I hope you all have a very wonderful day and happy crafting.